Hi, welcome to my channel if you're new, and thank you for watching again if you've watched my videos before. I'm Ali and I'm here today to talk about my tattoos. Just have a couple of small discreet ones, nothing major. So I have seen a few videos going around which are like a tattoo tag, and I just didn't really feel like that was the right video for me to film. I wanted to do something slightly different. Maybe other people have filmed a video like this that I just haven't seen. So if anyone else has done a really cool video about what it's like to be heavily tattooed, please link me because I would love to watch it. Just a couple of little disclaimers. It is so hot in here, so if I look red and sweaty and like my makeup is sliding off my face, that's why. It's just so hot. It feels disgusting to even wear makeup in this weather, never mind a bra, so if I look like I'm struggling, that is why. Secondly, all these opinions, I mean, this goes without saying, but they are my own. They don't necessarily reflect the views of other heavily tattooed people or anyone else who's kind of alternative looking. These are just my opinions and experiences, so please just bear that in mind. So where do I start? So one of the questions I get asked the most is, how long did it take to get this many? I am pretty covered. I have like a little bit of space on my legs. My back is finished. I have a full back piece. My arms, there's no space there, and I have a bit of space on my ribs as well. My front is pretty much all covered too. It's taken, I think, about 10 years, so a long time. And yes, it's cost a lot of money. People seem to have no problem with bringing money into this. Like, talking about money is quite rude in a lot of situations, but people that I meet in the supermarket will ask me how much all this work has cost me. So yes, it has cost quite a bit and it's worth every penny. Couldn't tell you how many I have because I get big pieces. A big piece could take 10 sessions, 20 sessions. So does that count as one? Does that count as 20? So it's pretty much impossible to count how many I have. Another question I get is, who have I been tattooed by? I will leave links to the artists' Instagram pages below. I've been tattooed by all female artists, which was a conscious choice by me to support women in what is or has historically been a male-dominated industry, and I know some amazing female artists. Exception is one of my male friends did tattoo my knuckles and they are so good, so he did a great job. But yeah, I'm super proud to wear artwork by some incredibly talented artists. I feel very lucky that I've been able to access such great artists. It's really important to me to get really good quality work that's going to stand the test of time, stay quite classic looking, and kind of age with me and age well. So those were all things that I thought about before getting any of my work done. I want to be 80 years old one day, and yes, they might have gone a little bit fuzzy, but tattooing has moved on so much. If you saw someone with, say, 50-year-old tattoos now, they would not have aged as well as a tattoo now does. The processes, the materials have moved on so much, and I've also taken artists' suggestions into consideration with all the designs that I have, and they've all been done to age with me. So that's another question I get, is what are you going to look like when you're old? And hopefully like this. I am not against fillers and Botox as well. I've had a little bit of that done. So I'm hoping I look relatively similar to how I do now. If any of my work does go a bit kind of fuzzy or faded looking, I fully intend to get that touched up. Haven't needed to yet, but that's something I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared for the maintenance. So what is it like day to day to be this heavily tattooed? And when I say heavily tattooed, I mean I have tattoos that are visible even when I'm wearing a lot of clothes. So even when I'm wearing like a high-necked top, long sleeves, trousers, socks, shoes, a hat, you can still tell that I have tattoos and that I probably have quite a lot. I have them on my face. There's actually one kind of hiding under my makeup just there. I have a little heart there and I have a beautiful flower just here. That's another question actually. Now that I think about it, there's loads of questions that people ask me, and it's what do you do about the ones on your face because you wear makeup? And if you don't already know, I'm a makeup artist, so I love to wear makeup. I don't mind them having a bit of makeup over, and I wear very full coverage makeup normally. I like my skin to look very flawless, so I don't mind if the ones on my face look a little bit faded. It's not because I want to cover them up and I hate them, that's not the case. It's just that I kind of don't want to ruin my makeup by making a little hole in my makeup. If I'm wearing like a more natural base, so like just a bit of tinted moisturiser just to go out for the day or something, then I will tidy them up just a little bit because it doesn't affect my makeup. But no, I don't mind the way they look with foundation over. I would rather they look their best, but at the same time, I'm a girl that loves makeup, so what can you do? So yeah, when I say heavily tattooed, that's what I mean. If I was wearing like a high neck top up here, you'd still see that I have them quite densely around my neck, my face, my hands and my fingers have tattoos kind of all the way down right to the nail beds. So that's what I mean when I say heavily tattooed. So what's it like day to day? I think people that don't have any tattoos, I think a lot of them feel like it's such a big deal to me in my life, and it's not. They are so much that it's just my skin. It's like they've always been there. I don't wake up in the morning and like check them all out or anything. I don't really take them into consideration when I'm buying clothes. I just wear what I want to wear. It just is what it is. It's like they've always been there, and it's not a novelty to me. It's my day-to-day, and I do understand that for a lot of people I'm a huge novelty, because they don't know anyone that looks like this. They might know someone that's got a few tattoos, they might have a couple of tattoos themselves that are kind of easily hidden, or maybe one that's quite visible, but even then they might not have seen someone that looks like me outside of a tattoo shop or TV, or you know, so that does get really annoying, because for me this is just how I look and I love it. Like, saying that I don't pay my tattoos any attention doesn't mean I don't love and appreciate them. I feel so lucky to wear all this beautiful artwork, but it's just normal day to day for me. I don't look in the mirror and see myself as looking different. A lot of my friends also look like this. That's another thing. I think people with no tattoos assume that I only hang out with people that look the way I look, but that's just so not the case. I think anyone who has a lot of tattoos will tell you that, again, they don't see it. So I might be talking to someone I've never met before. They look just like I do. I don't treat them any differently. I'm not like, oh, I want to be their new best mate. It just doesn't work like that. I think a lot of people think that, you know, I'm going to be surrounded by this crew of other people that also have tattoos on their face and their neck, and that's just not true. Another question I get is, does it make it hard to date? I would say yes. If, say, I was on a dating app or someone slid into my DMs, if the first thing they say is, wow, your tattoos, that's just an immediate no for me. I'm not a novelty. I definitely, and people I've dated before have treated me like a bit of a novelty, and I don't like that. Like I said, I'm just me. I don't feel different. So yeah, it does make it a bit more difficult, because I think, oh, you know, if I was gonna slide in someone's DMs, the first thing I would be to comment on their appearance like that. I just wouldn't do it. It seems to be different if you have tattoos. People seem to think that's like a big statement of like, look at me, look at me, look at me, and it's not. I'm like, I've always been like an artistic, creative person. I obviously have an artistic job in a creative industry, and it's just my pleasure to cover myself in beautiful artwork. It's not that I've done it to get attention, or, you know, I mean, I frequently get catcalled for having lots of tattoos, and that is something I can't stand. I can't stand being catcalled, and I will always say something back. I just not having it, nope. So, and quite often the response to that is like, well, why'd you get them then? Why'd you get them? You want me to look at you? I don't. It's the same as if you get a really awesome haircut. You get it for yourself. You don't get it so that people will shout at you in the street or constantly comment on it. Or you know, buy yourself a bright red lipstick. You know that's going to be eye-catching, but you're doing it because you like it. You're not doing it for other people to constantly comment on, and people just don't seem to get that. A lot of people do, don't get me wrong, but not everyone. Also, I just would like to add, if you get people commenting on your appearance and it's something you haven't chosen, then I'm so sorry that you experienced that, because it has really opened my eyes to what other people must go through. If there's something about you that people you don't even know constantly pick up on and comment on, then I'm so sorry, because it's not nice to be treated like that. And it's something I've realised, like for example, my dad is disabled and he has at times used a wheelchair, and seeing the way that he is treated because of that very visible physical aspect of himself has made me realise, like, you know, it just must be so rough to have people constantly comment on something about your physical appearance like that. I know what it's like, but at the same time I did choose this knowing that it would make me stand out in a lot of situations, so please just bear that in mind. I don't want what I'm saying to come across as whingy, because I did do this to myself and I did choose this. So, and actually I did try and go into this with an informed, I never set out to have lots and lots of tattoos. I just realised that there were lots that I would love to collect from different artists, and I do remember years ago, like probably 8 years ago or more, asking one of my friends who was at that time had a lot more tattoos than I did, and I asked her what it was like, and she was very honest, and she said, well, to be honest, I got more attention for having a really bright unnatural hair colour. She used to have the most beautiful bright cherry red hair. It suited her so well. She said that once she decided on a more natural hair colour, she seemed to get a lot less kind of, not negative attention, but a lot less catcalling and all that kind of stuff. It's definitely something that I thought about before I kind of went ahead and tattooed my neck and my chest and my face and stuff. Actually, getting my chest tattooed was a really big deal, and I would say to anyone that's thinking of getting your chest tattooed, think really, really, really carefully about it, because that for me changed the way people looked at me. People talk to my chest and that really, it's a massive piece, and it's like front and center to your body and your face, and it's what people look at when they talk to you, and it's a really, really prominent place to get a tattoo. I'd say that was more life-changing for me than getting my face tattooed even. But yeah, I have done this to myself, so if this is something you've experienced too, and you know, whatever you've gone through with people picking on your appearance, I'm so sorry that's happened. And yeah, being heavily tattooed has massively opened my eyes to that. Load of other situations, I think I'm more tuned into it when it happens to other people now, and it makes me so sad that people just always want to comment on your appearance. But yeah, bear in mind, I'm not whinging. Something that I deal with, something that fortunately doesn't bother me too much. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Another question I get all the time is, what is your favourite tattoo? And I always say I couldn't pick a favourite, most of all because my tattoos are done by some people I'm really good friends with, and I couldn't pick someone, you know, one of my friends' work over another friend's work. I couldn't do it. But officially, probably my chest piece. There are so many pictures of this on my Instagram if you want to go and have a look. Sorry about my son meowing in the background, I think he wants his dinner. Yeah, there's so many pictures of this online. It's been in magazines, it's been in galleries. I've had it photographed for I think a couple of different galleries now. It's just a really beautiful piece, and like I said, it completely changed my life actually. So if I have to have an official favourite, it's my chest. And I really love this little heart on my face. One of my best friends did that for me, and I know she was really nervous about it because obviously it's a face. If I don't like it, what are you going to do? It's your face, you can't really hide that. And I just think it's so cute and I love it. So yeah, I can't really pick a favourite though, and I do love all of mine. Another question I get loads is, do I have any that I hate or regret? No, not at all. I always told myself I can get whatever I want tattooed on me as long as it's beautiful and it's done nicely. I think from tattoo regret that I've come across in other people. It tends to be when someone has something that's been done really badly, unfortunately, or something that isn't kind of like a classic sort of piece. I have had one reworked. I had just a very simple diamond on the back of my neck, and I had that reworked just so it would fit more with the tattoos I have around it, because as you can see, I love colour and I love detail. It was just a kind of blue and white trad style diamond, and I really liked it. There's nothing wrong with it. If I'd never had that reworked, I wouldn't feel upset. It was nice. But I just had more detail added. I had like a big ribbon put around it and some other little details just so it blended better with the rest of my body, because the rest of my body, the pieces have lots and lots of detail. How do I decide what to get? It is definitely true that the more you get, the less you care about what it is. I feel like the first few tattoos that you get, it's a really big deal and you spend ages thinking about what to get and ages finding an artist that you like, or maybe you found an artist whose work you just love, but you know, you obsess over what to get and you obsess over every detail and is it perfect. And actually the more you get, the less you care about that. You think, oh, you know, I get something else beautiful on me, this is great. You're not sat there like losing sleep over whether you've come up with the right idea, and you know, when you've got it done, like, you know, is it how you wanted it to be? That kind of goes away after you get more than, I would say, a few tattoos. You do start worrying less about it. You know, you trust the process as well. Once you've been tattooed by an artist once, obviously you put a lot of trust in someone to get them to change your body permanently. But yeah, the artists that I go to, I am biased because they're my mates, but I trust them completely and they really know my style. And if I'm going to a new artist for the first time, it's because I've seen their portfolio of work and I love it, and I just know that they will get me and get my style. And it's kind of helpful when you have more than just a few tattoos, because you obviously will have developed your style and your taste in what you like, and an artist can look at you and know what's going to fit with your other pieces. So yeah, the more you get, the less you care, but in a nice way. Do my parents like them? No. They would rather I didn't have any. They would definitely like it if I didn't have any tattoos on my face or my neck. But they're very accepting. As long as I'm happy, they're happy. And to be honest, in my lifetime there have been bigger fish to fry. Like, you know, we've gone through a lot as a family, so a lot of things put that in perspective. When you're having a difficult time, or when someone's unwell, or you know, things aren't going great, you do realise that the way someone looks doesn't matter. You might not like their tattoos. Does it really matter when you've got a bit of perspective on the situation? No. Do I have any meaningful tattoos? People ask me this all the time. Like, again, people that I've not even met in the queue in the supermarket will ask me this question. It does seem to be like being heavily tattooed just opens you up to having deep and meaningful conversations with people. And again, I never want to be rude, because I just understand that people, and normally people will preface these questions with a compliment. They'll be like, oh, you know, your tattoos are so beautiful, do your parents like them? Or, oh, you look amazing, which one was the most painful? They like come in with the questions, but you know it's in a nice way. In an ideal world, would people that you've never even met before in the queue to buy lunch ask you personal questions about your appearance? No. But as long as they're being polite, then I will of course be polite to people that try and start up a conversation with me. It actually really gets me if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm feeling really down, if I'm not feeling good that day, if I'm in a rush, if I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, it does annoy me or upset me, because I just think, oh, you know, if I don't feel good in myself, the last thing I want is more attention. I'd rather just get on with whatever I'm doing that day. But I always do my best to be polite to people, because like I said, most of the time they will be complimenting me as well, and they've gone out of their way to do that. So yeah, just completely unsolicited in the queue, people will ask me, do any of them have any meaning? And I think they're often really surprised when I say no, they don't. I got them because I like art. They're quite disappointed. I think because a lot of the TV shows as well, people go on to, I can't think of any of the names off the top of my head, I don't even know if they're still going, but this was a big trend a few years ago, was to have TV shows about tattoos and tattoo shops. And people would go on there and they'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm getting this pocket watch from my late grandfather, and then next to it I'm getting the time that my daughter was born and all this. No. I have some of my dad's handwriting on this shoulder blade, which was a trace of his handwriting from a birthday card he gave me, and he loves it, so that was a bit of a winner. And I have my mum's dog on the back of my arm. My mum has the loveliest dog that she's had for years and years and years and years, and that was kind of in lieu of getting my mum's handwriting on me because I wanted to do something a bit different for her. I also have my parents' initials in here, but if anyone asks my mum what her favourite tattoo of mine is, she says the little bunny rabbit just here, so that was a waste of time. I have my first ever business's logo here. I started my first business when I was, I think, 20 years old, so yeah, that's meaningful, I guess. And I guess my tattoos are meaningful as well because most of them are done by my friends, and I love that. I think the final question I get asked most often is which hurt the most and which was the most painful. This is a hello. Do you want to say hey? Good boy. So probably one of the other most popular questions for strangers to ask me in the street is which one hurt the most, and I'm not gonna lie, they all hurt. Some of them were just more tolerable than others. I would say I have kind of a normal pain threshold, definitely not the worst, but not the best. I do not enjoy the pain. Please do not be the person that asks me that question. But it was, for me, all of them have been worth putting up with. When you think about it, the pain might last a day while you're getting tattooed. You can take breaks if you need to. You can, you know, I always take like a sugary drink. I'm not like a big kind of sweet tooth type of person, but I'll take a sugary drink, some water and sugary snacks. Like I'll take some chocolate with me or something like that, because I actually feel like I need that to keep me going, and it definitely sort of picks me back up if I start feeling a little bit funny. My sternum, oh, so bad. Chest, not nice. Neck, terrible. Feet, really bad. Hands, not much better. They all hurt. Yeah, many strangers ask me that question. I think people, it's only Tuesday and I think already some strangers in the shop I popped into yesterday to pick up laundry detergent asked me, so there we go. So will I get any more? Yes, I have very much slowed down. I don't have much space left. Am I worried about running out of space? A little bit, but that ship has kind of sailed. If I now had the best idea in the whole world for a chest piece, too late, or, you know, a new back piece, well, mine took about 3 years, so there's no way that's getting lasered off and redone because I love it and it took such a long time. It feels like an achievement to have that finished. So yeah, I mean, I'll still get a few small ones here and there. I normally get tattooed for my birthday every year, just treat myself to it. But yeah, I'm not fussed. If I never got another one, I could live with that because they do hurt. Oh, I thought of something else. I quite often get asked, like, what do you do for a job then? Or is it hard to find a job? I feel fortunate in that I've always known that I've wanted to be a makeup artist, and it is possible to do that freelance, which is what I do. I work for myself, and I've worked for myself for about 8 years now. I've never once had negativity from a client. I've worked commercially. I've worked for big, like, multinational brands that, you know, you'll have in your house already. I've worked on TV commercials, music videos. I work for about anywhere between 50 and 70 brides per year. The only comments I've had from clients have been lovely, and that is actually a time that I don't always mind talking about my tattoos because it gives me and my clients something to chat about. I spend hours and hours with some of my clients doing their makeup, doing their hair, so it is kind of good to have a conversation starter sometimes in those situations, and it is a kind of motivating factor for me to remain self-employed because I don't have to worry about work, I don't have to worry about getting fired for getting my face tattooed. And I'm really sorry if that's something you've ever experienced again, because I know it does happen. So I feel really fortunate that, you know, I do my dream job. I'm also starting my own beauty brand, so, and again, working on my branding, this is something I'm gonna make a separate video about, but working on my branding, one of the things I've been very mindful of is not to make it seem like it's targeted at the sort of tattooed community, because again, people look at me and just think tattoos are my whole life, and in reality they're like this much of my life, they're like 2% of my life. So actually, yeah, that's something, you know, now that I think about it, that I've been really careful of with my new beauty brand. Hello, this is me from the future, like an hour into the future. I missed out a whole section I wanted to cover. Excuse how dirty this is, by the way. It needs a clean, mirrored furniture's a nightmare, and how extra sweaty I look now. It's also just started to go dark outside, so I've popped a light just behind here. I need to write things down or I just forget. Typical. I have made a lot of money from being heavily tattooed. I feel like this is a separate video, but this is like a key part of my journey of being heavily tattooed, is that I don't know how many of you will know this. If you've been on my Instagram, you might, but I was a glamour model for a number of years. I do feel like that's a story for another day, because I could talk for a whole separate video about glamour modelling, stripping, camming, and various other things that I have done that have got some really entertaining stories. But yeah, I mean, I got into modelling because I was asked a couple of times, like, by different people who went down the route of, oh my god, your tattoos are amazing, I really want to photograph them. And I said, no, that's not for me at all. And then in the end I did. It was for a photographer I'd worked with before when I was training as a makeup artist, and he did the most beautiful job of my photos, and from there I booked a glamour modelling shoot in underwear, the full works. So yeah, my tattoos have earned me thousands of pounds, which is so weird to think about it that way, and I did not set out to get them for that reason. I know you see a lot of tattooed models nowadays, and modelling is a bit of a dying industry. There aren't a lot of magazines anymore. Certainly the glamour magazines aren't really around, so yeah, it's really not something I would advise, and I don't want to glorify that in any way. Showing your body for pictures and videos and such is a big choice, so for that reason I feel like this is a separate video. But that is another aspect of my life, being heavily tattooed, is that my selling point as a model, it still is, I still have an agent. I'm just too busy with my hair and makeup business and also my new beauty brand to take many jobs. The jobs that I do take are amazing. My agency have got me into TV ads, music videos, like just some really interesting stuff. I've done a documentary as well. I don't know how many of you will have seen that, but that was a number of years ago on Channel 4. I've been on Sky TV, and that is purely for being heavily tattooed. There has been over the years, again not so much now, but definitely a few years back, plenty of work for a heavily tattooed model, and because my tattoos are quite distinctive, quite recognisable, they did get me a lot of work. I really don't think I would have got into modelling without having as many tattoos as I do. There's definitely a niche for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video, I think. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, if there's any similar videos, please link me because I would love to see them. I love hearing about other people's experiences, so that would be so interesting. and share your opinions as well. If you have a favourite artist, let me know in the comments because I would love to check out their work. If you have anything to say, then this is the place to say it. I would much rather chat about my tattoos in the comments here where we're all talking about it together than have a conversation with someone when I'm like in the line at the pharmacy. So go for it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It makes all the difference. Check out my Instagram as well, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye bye.